Greetings. Welcome to Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery. One more time and again, season 4. I'm super excited. And I have Whitney Page. And she's with today's topic. Let me tell you something. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence, which, is a great subject for me because I feel like people are losing some of their intelligence and not have emotions attached. Lord have
Mm.
mercy. What are we going through? So let me just start by saying, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions,
Mhm.
as well as understanding and influence the emotions of others.
Mhm.
Now, I almost feel like I want to repeat that, but we're on the clock. But manage your own, okay, and be encouraged about that. And Whitney, let's start talking about introduce yourself, and then let's talk about self awareness in that area.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Yes, I'm Whitney Page, and I'm just a mentor and lifestyle strategist. I'm passionate about, helping women specifically with personal growth and
Yeah.
transformation. That is the journey that is unfolding. And today's topic, I thought it was excellent and wonderful when we reached out and spoke on it. Emotional
Yeah.
intelligence, like you said, the ability to understand, recognize, and control your own emotions, as well as recognize others and how that plays out in relationship dynamics.
Yeah. And recognizing emotions in the moment, and
Hmm. Hmm.
understanding what that means when you talk about relationships.
Right,
So,
right.
what would be a good example of that?
So it well, first, just with emotional intelligence in general, I know your platform has a lot to do with mental health, and a
Yes.
lot of people have had trauma. So, even trauma or any type of PTSD is one of the first things that will dysregulate your emotions.
Right. True story.
Dysregulate. And
True
and
story.
some of us, we know our trauma, but even without trauma, just growing up and how our different family dynamics,
Right.
parents who had boundaries, didn't have boundaries, and how we took that on plays in how we interact with our own emotions. And so some people, their emotions control them. So
Mm,
emotional intelligence is taking back sovereignty over your emotions.
I love that.
Mm.
I love that.
Some
Take it
people
up.
are afraid of their emotions, right? We can
Right.
get some people, we have a lot of anger, some a lot of sadness. And so a lot of people will stray from, like, there's a fear. Some people fear
Right.
their own
Right.
emotions.
And
And
especially
so
in relationship, that trust
mhm,
factor, or I
right,
was hurt before and now I don't
right,
want you to hurt me again. And so now the
right.
first time someone pick up their phone and go in the next room, you cheated. You
Yeah,
you
yes,
cheating on me. Who that? Who is
yes,
that? And then
yes.
just this uproar. And so,
Mhm,
when you see people do that, just try to understand.
mhm,
And that's what
mhm.
we're loving about emotional intelligence, is that you have
Right,
to understand the other person as well as
right,
your feelings.
right. The ability to tap in and just question. Let's stop and question what's going on, and let's use some communication with the other person to see, is it what your mind or your
Come
emotions are
on
telling
now.
you? It may not be. It
Right.
may
That's
not
right.
be.
One of the things I always say here, Say Space Talks My Mastery, is that when you don't have enough information, monitor
Hmm.
your response. Right.
Right,
So they got up, they went in another room to take a call. You don't have enough information. So
right,
you gotta slow it down a little bit, and you
right,
don't have an information until you ask, right?
right,
Then
right,
you have to take that person at their word because you still don't have enough information. So you have to really get in control of your emotions. And once you start doubting and saying he lying or she's lying or I don't believe it, right? Well, you
right.
hold on to that until you have proper information, because you
Right.
cannot falsely accuse somebody of
Mhm.
doing something that you have no idea of what they're doing. And I hope y'all hearing us,
Mhm.
because we're trying to help you guys out
Right.
with that, right?
And
We
the
want.
big thing in emotional intelligence with what you just said in that whole scenario
Mhm.
is a dysregulated person, their body starts to flare up. So when you
Right, that
feel,
fight, flight, and
yes, the
freeze. Yeah.
anxiety is flaring, or some people start to get real warm, or your nerves are just triggered. So sometimes people impulsively, they cannot control their actions, their speech, or their thoughts because the body is now in control. And some people, it's hard for them to
Yeah.
override their body, so they want to burst out because they're trying to actually just get their body to calm down.
Well, and here we talk about breathing techniques. I love I love encouraging all of you to say, "Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom." Go to the
You
bathroom,
just gather
look in the
yourself. Gather
mirror,
yourself.
throw
Mhm.
some water on your face,
Yes.
pace, calm it down, calm it
Yes.
down. You're responsible for your reaction.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
this is you taking control of your emotions. You know what? Let me go to the bathroom. Get to the safe place, right? That the bathroom
Right.
is a safe place. No one should be following you. You ain't invite them,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's your timeout to
Right.
pull it all together.
Pull it
You
together.
know,
And
and
we
that,
can go even a little deeper. Sometimes some people, if you had something happen to you, let's say you had a car accident in September.
mhm.
The following September, a whole year later, your body might start to respond.
Yes,
And
yeah,
you won't know what the heck is happening, but the body has memory.
I love it. You tapped on that, and I definitely can attest to that. Being challenged
Oh,
with PTSD,
okay.
the situation happened in March. So
Hmm.
I've realized in January, February, my
Okay.
body begins to, I had no idea what it,
Yeah.
why I'm sad, why I'm depressed. And even
Yeah.
after March, April, and that's my birthday month. So I'll be trying to turn up and everything. But,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this feeling
Hmm.
that I'm having, like
Hmm.
lethargic,
Hmm.
sometimes even nightmares.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it took me a while to realize that was still part of the PTSD.
Right.
And so, yes, you're absolutely right about that. And we
Right.
have to be able to take control for self
Yeah.
regulation,
Yeah, and when
and
that where that
realizing that.
right, right, and where that intelligence comes in, sometimes the first step one is the self-awareness once you
Right.
realize, and then the second step is the self-compassion. You
Yeah.
Your emotions, they're not meant to be suppressed or punished. You just learn to be in flow. You learn to be in flow with them. You take partnership with your emotions and
Right.
you calm. You start to get tools and techniques to calm
I
whatever
love
needs
it.
to be calm.
Yeah. Yeah. I love when you say that all the time.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
being the part of the self regulation is being able to avoid that impulse decision
Yes.
by thinking objectively before acting. And so if you do that, remember the bathroom scene, right? Run to the bathroom
Yes.
so you can be more objective when you come out. Because
Mhm,
until, like I said, you have that information, that valid proof, you're in error. You're
mhm,
in error.
mhm.
And you have to be able to conquer that. And I
Right.
know it's hard. Like I said, we're talking about trauma experiences, and someone
Mhm,
did this
mhm,
to me before. And I love what you
mhm,
said. Your body holds the memory, and
mhm,
you're just trying to give everything this time. But one of the things is, I love saying this, it's just two people coming together, right?
mhm,
And
mhm.
so then there should be a discussion on why we coming together. Is it just
Yes,
us? Is it just
yes,
sex? Is it
yes,
just, oh yeah, no, we're gonna talk.
yes.
Is it just because he cute, she cute, he got a Bentley, he live in a nice house or she lives in a nice house. A lot of times for me, I feel people come together for false reasons.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so right then and there, your emotions are going to be wrecked, because
Right.
wherever they fall short at, you're just going to be like, oh boy. Or you're going to be bound in a situation where you're unhappy,
Right.
thinking you're going to get some trinkets and come on, Whitney, come on. You're going to get
No,
some trinkets,
absolutely, absolutely. And
and it's
I
not going
say,
to happen.
and a lot of it has to, like, with what you're saying is you have to be on the same page. Now,
Right,
if y'all both on the Bentley page,
right,
then okay. But
right, right.
if he on the Bentley page and you on the long term, we looking for marriage page, it's just,
It's
yeah.
right, right.
Then yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna have some turmoil and things
yeah.
coming up. And that's why I always even say, even in mentoring other women, you have you need clear communication, and also never expect that what you think and what you expect, your standards are the other person's standards as
Come
well.
on. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's that. So
And emotions are attached to your social skills too.
yes,
Being
absolutely.
able to work well with others.
Leadership.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
teams,
Mm-hmm.
communication, communicating effectively, and being able to resolve conflict. If you're not emotionally stable, you're not going to be in a high level position.
Absolutely. And I think the one of the main things about leadership or management, you have to be able to empathize. For me, I know one of my strengths is in any situation, I can always put myself in the other person's shoes. And even mentally, they say we have mirror neurons. So
Right,
people who have deep levels of empathy, they have increased levels of mirror neurons, right?
right,
There are some people that just cannot do that. They cannot see through
right.
the lens of someone else. And biologically, they tend to have less mirror neurons. It is
Yeah.
definitely needed in positions of leadership and management for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And we talked about hurt feelings as well. And
Mhm.
something that when we were talking and you said self soothing. Oh my goodness. I need you to go in. I need you to tell people how when they out here bugging out and
Yeah,
just over it, panic
yeah,
attacks, super
yeah,
anxiety.
yeah,
What
yeah.
give them some tools on how to self soothe.
Well, okay. Well, there's levels to it. Understand that most of our self-soothing techniques are learned in infancy, and how our parents were or
Yeah.
were not towards us, how safe we felt, even at 3 and 4 months when we didn't even, because the body remembers.
Come on, right, right, right.
So, if you grew up in a home where you were not taught or leaned into self-soothing as you get older,
Hmm.
you may lack it. But the thing is, it's a learnable skill. So
Okay.
even as an adult, self-soothing is to be able to. That's where when we can't self-soothe, we usually tend to be codependent. So we need other people to help us soothe, or other things. It could
Right.
be sometimes we lean. That's where we go and we lean into drugs, or we leave into sex, or
Yeah.
excessive food, because we don't know how to tap
I like
in
that.
to
I
our
like
own,
right, right.
self-soothingness. So the first strategy that I say that trumps anything is therapy, therapy, therapy. If you ain't got no strategy, you need to start with your therapist. Let's start
Okay.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, one on one. But just in general, with anxiety, they always say breathing is going to be the first thing people tell you to do,
Right,
and it
right.
actually does work.
It
But if
really
you're dealing
does,
with
but
some
it's hard
stuff,
to start.
yeah, if you're dealing with some
Because let
stuff,
me tell
baby,
you, right?
girl,
I used to be
I
like,
remember,
oh, I'm fine. They would breathe. Ah,
yeah.
ah. you
And
know,
I myself, I
yeah.
had some trauma in the past. And I remember the first therapist I went to, and I mean, I was fitting to lose it. And I
Right.
went into her office and she said, okay, I want to teach you how to breathe. Oh, no, I got to go. You're not the therapist because we passed. No, we need a little more than breathing. So, if it's minimal, you start with breathing. But past that, the techniques that I have learned is, I can't even say techniques. It's more of a journey. I learned to I learned to like my own company.
Come on.
I
That
learned to
is
like
so key.
myself.
That
It's
is
a
so
real
true.
thing.
Yeah, no,
And then
that's
when
a
I used
real
to hear
thing.
people say, "Oh, learn to have fun with yourself," I'm like, that don't. But when you do, oh, it's such a good place.
It
It's
is when you
such a
can
good place.
travel by yourself, take yourself out to
Yes,
dinner,
yes,
um, you know,
yes,
be cool that you don't have no company, your phone's not ringing off the hook. That
absolutely.
is that is a skill,
Yes,
and I
yes.
think that was revealed in 2020 with COVID. I think
Oh
people
God.
realized that,
Mhm.
oh no,
Yeah.
I'm stuck with me,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then
Right.
you had to get to know you.
Yes. And it is so, like I said, it's a whole journey. So at first, it felt, not gonna lie, it felt very scary. It felt
Mhm.
very uncomfortable and it felt very alone. And if I had to draw a picture, being with yourself initially, if it's not something that you do, it for me, it felt like being in a room alone with blank walls. And
Wow.
by the time that journey started moving, baby, let's say a year later, I was still in the room, but the walls had
Oh,
colors.
come on.
We
Yeah.
had fruits, we had snacks, we had
Yeah.
flowers, we had
Yeah.
plants.
Yeah.
I just enjoy. You see, I'm saying we because
I
that's what
know.
was talking to me. And it is a beautiful thing, but I'm not gonna lie, it can be. It can be
It's
scary.
scary. You
And
you
in
you feel
relationship
alone.
dynamics, why we need it is because if you're constantly depending on your partner or even, just a friend, a very close friend to help you regulate your emotions, you actually can pull and drain the person. And now we have issues
Mm,
coming into the relationship because you don't know how to soothe yourself. So now you're forcing the other person to feed you and they trying to feed themselves too.
right, right, right.
So, so I
Yeah.
just say therapy number one, and be open to getting to know you, and that's a whole different process and
No,
journey
but
in
that's gonna
itself.
make you strong. Spending
Absolutely.
time with you, knowing what you like, what you don't like,
Mhm.
that's where you
Mhm.
start creating your standards. That's where
Mhm.
you start not overdoing it or becoming a people pleaser,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
There's difference between someone who's trying to be a people pleaser and someone who just serves. Come
Right.
on now, come on now, right?
Right.
So
Right.
when you're dealing with your emotions, you already know, like people who have emotional intelligence, what we're talking
Mhm.
about, right? People who have that,
Mhm.
they've gotten it. They're in control. They're the high performers.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
they're the ones who get the job done. They're the ones who um, not flipping the finger, right? They don't have road rage, right? Because you have now control over how you respond.
Mhm.
People without emotional intelligence are the ones who have road rage, the ones who's fighting
Mhm.
with you in the Walmart, the people
Mhm.
who just cussing you out for no reason. So now I
There's a third. I just want to put in there. There's a
go
third.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Now the third is you got people like Trump that just tap out. He
See,
just tap out.
see,
Trump can move the way he moves. He don't care what's going on to the left or right because he has just fully tapped out.
right,
It could, in a way, it serves him. It
right.
serves him because that's how he's able to just do whatever the heck he want to do, and he feels no type of way about it
No
because
way.
he's tapped out of it. He suppressed it all together.
Yeah, yeah,
So there are people too as well who just suppress it and they kind of numb out, or for them it's survival mode. So
that's
they
true.
don't get
That's
too,
true.
they don't blow up, and they also don't drain. They're
Right.
literally just almost stealth and suppressed and numbed, but it helps them to survive and move.
That was good. That was good. People probably need to hear that, because
Because you could
emotional
be that one
intelligence
too.
also
You could
helps
be
you to
that.
be self-aware,
Yeah.
of what's going
Yeah.
on, and the ability
Yeah.
to have empathy, like you said earlier,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
sustain harmonious relationships.
Right.
You know,
Right. 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 Right.
when you're not in a harmonious relationship, you have to figure out which one of y'all don't have the emotional intelligence here. One of us don't have it, because there's
So
too much
funny.
chaos, there's too much
Mhm.
unbalance,
Mhm.
there's too much
Mhm. Mhm.
arguing. I'm
Yeah.
helping you. That when there's just too much of that, then someone's falling short.
Mhm.
Okay. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
but
And emotions are energy. It's energy in the body, and energy never dies. So
mm,
your job, what you're doing, is you're turning it into something else. You
wow.
can't get rid of it because some people just want to get rid of it. Emotions are not to get rid of. You want to transform them into their rightful, aligned place. They're really just meant to be messengers. Your emotions are just your messengers of what your body is feeling and what your mind is experiencing.
Right. I like what you said because it ain't going nowhere. That's just part of our makeup. You're right. You're right. Um, how
So
can we?
emotional intelligence is emotional wealth. That's your emotional wealth.
That's good. Bars. All on Safe Space Talks My Mastery. Bars.
Amen.
So, how to improve your emotional intelligence? Know where you overreact. You know, we know. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I know me very, very well. No, I don't know how you don't know. I've been living with myself 57 years. I know me, right? So we can't be quick to be like, you know how I am. Do you? Do you know? Right? So don't overreact, or as the teenagers say, stop doing too much. Right? You're doing too
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
um, or and be able to listen to the other person.
Mhm.
You got to be
Actively.
listening,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's how you listen. But
Right,
you need to be listening to
right.
the other person's resolve or their complaint, and be able to take constructive criticism. We say
Yes.
this all the time on Safe Space Talks. You know you acting funny.
Right,
You
right,
know, you off. So don't
right.
try to act like you're not off. Say, you know what, bet I'm a little off today. I'm a little sensitive. We are in 2025. Okay.
It's a lot going on.
Commercials have allowed us to no more privacy. So the men know when we get our period and the pads that we got I have. Everybody know about menopause. I mean,
Right,
we in 2025. There's no
right,
filter. So
right.
if you're off, just say I'm having an off day today. You know, that was my line when I was
Mhm.
challenged with PTSD. You know, my sister come down, I'd be like, it's not a good day. She turn right on around, go on back
Yes,
upstairs,
yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Because it's not a good day today.
Right. Clear
I was
communication.
clear.
Right, right.
Do
Clear
not
communication.
don't do it. I don't know what's gonna who you may visit. So admit it. Admit it. You
Mhm,
know, I still struggle in different areas, and I tell people, I be like, look, this is a little crowded for me.
mhm.
I'm gonna stay over here. You go on over there if you need to.
Right, right.
So
You're
you
aware,
have to
aware of where
know,
you are. Mhm.
right? You have to be aware of that, and I can't read your mind. People can't read your mind. They don't know if you able or not able. So you have to communicate, and you have to say what you have to say. You have to understand why. Once you understand why, you communicate. This is too crowded. I don't want to go.
Right,
Hold my hand.
right.
No,
Hold
because
my
I went
hand.
somewhere. I was like, "You're gonna have to hold my hand. I'm grown, but I'm feeling
Yes.
real
And that's
insecure right now."
wonderful
You
because your
know,
level of self-awareness is top tier. So
yeah,
and you're not
I'm
afraid to
feeling
speak. Yeah.
real. Whitney, you already know. You already know I'm telling the truth. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm not
Mhm.
lying. I'm telling you, communicate
Mhm.
that you're off.
And when you have the ability to do it for yourself, that's what leads to the road of being able to look at it in other people. So when people start acting a little crazy, my own emotional intelligence, oh, all right, give them a pass because I can actually see what's happening here. And I'm not going. We're not going to dance with it now, but I'll come back. We'll come back to it. But I can
I
still
love
see,
that.
as much as I can see what's going on in myself. I have the awareness to kind of see what's going on with you and how I want to handle it. how I want to handle relationships.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's just like in ministry. I'd be like, don't be trying to prophesy to me. You can't prophesy to yourself. Don't give me a word if you don't know the word and you can't use the word for yourself. Like,
I can't with
you
you.
have to be
Yeah.
able to, dish
Yeah.
it out and take it.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can't
Yes.
be like, I can help the world and you can't help yourself,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
that's triggering.
Right. Right.
How you
Yeah.
helping everybody else in your household crazy. Like, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Or you're
Mhm.
so unbalanced that you're having panic attacks or
Mhm.
anxiety attacks, and you're keeping it quiet. You're isolating, which is the enemy's trick. We don't want that. We don't want to get to a place where now we're
We in
so
the
afraid
corner.
we can't
Mhm.
communicate, we can't tell nobody anything. We're just out here, blase blase,
And we at that point, usually it's because you don't want to do therapy. And a lot of people don't want to do therapy because they are afraid of opening the can because the emotions will erupt. But whether you deal with it, you deal with it now, deal with it later. It's
it's
the
gonna
stuff
come. Yeah.
gonna come out.
Yeah. One of the things too, I love the mirror. It's so many things that you were instructed to do or told to do. I think I had one of the best therapists. I just thank God for her. But her homework assignments has kept me stable thus far.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because, and I remember the first, I was like, I can't do no homework. Nobody want to do no homework. I
Mhm.
breathe in. What? I read,
Mhm.
woman, my mind. I, I'm like in pre-K with my mind. Like, read
Mhm.
what?
Yeah, yeah.
Read. No, but reading was fun. Reading was fun. Find a book, a self-help book. It's like, it's like, now if I read one, I would be like, oh, this is easy, simple. But when you have that mental instability, as we like to say here,
Yes.
you read a book that has some wisdom and you be like, ooh, that was good. Oh, because you need it to
Yeah.
reinforce
Right.
what is temporarily
Yes.
unstable,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that was really good. And yes, we understand. She mentioned parents, that parents sometimes have low emotional intelligence, which I,
Oh, yeah.
struggle with. I can't stand the parent that's yelling at the child that's 2 and 3. Hurry up, you making me late. How is the child at
Right.
2
Yeah.
making you late? Like, let's
Yeah.
like pause. Like, the 2-year-old is making you late?
Mhm. Mhm. Or the cursing at the children and
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, they grown.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
talking to you. I'm so
Mhm.
talking to you. Cause
Mhm.
like you gotta stop that. It woo, you wanna irk my nerves? I've gotten into conversations in the street with strangers because I'm like, why are you yelling at the kid like that? How
Right.
the kid doing it?
Right.
My sister be dragged. Stop. I literally was driving and the mother, this guy, like hit his kid, and I did a U-turn. Like, I do not like that. I have to be so careful out here in the streets. But y'all not gonna be talking to these kids like that, okay?
Right. Because when the parents are doing that, they're frustrated. A lot of the root of frustration is anxiety.
Right.
Where's the anxiety coming from? Address the anxiety so you don't have to address the child.
You better tell them again, tell them again, tell them again.
Address the anxiety so you do not have to keep addressing the child. And understand it's a journey. Just start the process. Start the process.
I love it.
Process.
When you realize you overreact,
Mhm.
and you know when you overreact, you
Mhm.
do. Uh,
Mhm.
that's when you have to start taking inventory. You have to take inventory of your emotions to understand what's triggering you as well. Like, so if someone's using the phone privately, that's a trigger for you. You got to let them know. right. Just kind of be like, oh, I just felt away when you did that. So they can say, well, it was my mama. And she in the hospital. Ain't none of your business why she in the hospital. But I wanted to talk privately with my mother.
Mhm.
Okay. Or that was my brother. You don't
Yeah,
know. So you
right.
gotta work on
And
those emotions.
that person addressing you is them helping you. Now, for you to help yourself, because if it really is, they not doing all that sneaking and all that,
Yeah,
then you have to ask, why am I triggered by this? And you have to work that out, because the trigger, we know the trigger has nothing to do with the person who
that's
is triggering you.
that's right. That's right.
Or sometimes we just gotta take a beat, and
Yeah,
dig deep, be willing to dig a little deep.
yeah. I mean, emotional intelligence, I love it because you're gonna have to use your intelligence. Yeah, that's just
You stupid. You
it's
cracking me up. You so funny. You so funny. Now the man might actually be doing some sneaking on the phone. And
true,
so
true.
let's say it is a situation. The intelligent part is you're not going in there screaming or
Right.
yelling and accusing. You
That's it.
articulate
That's
yourself,
it.
articulate right. And if you hearing, if something, how my sister say, if something in the milk ain't clean, if something don't sound right, then you move accordingly. That's it.
That's it. But we
Articulate,
saying that, right? But
and
that's
move
because we
accordingly.
we are high level performers.
Yes.
So let me remember when I was young and dumb. Let me think. Because I was. But
So
not really because my parents they just they messed me up really. They basically was like, if you're not married,
we know you wasn't no joke.
that's not you don't have to surrender all. So I was like, oh, okay, well, we ain't married. Well,
So I'm
you
gonna do
know,
what I want to
you
do.
talk to who you want to talk to. I talk to who I want to talk to. And in the meantime, in between time,
We got an
we good.
understanding. We got an
You know,
understanding. Yeah.
some understood, some didn't.
Some did not. Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
I now mature. I if this is me, if I have to go through your phone, like we can't be together. If
Right.
you're making me feel now, let me help people out.
Absolutely.
If the person is intentionally making you feel insecure, you
Right.
gotta go.
Right.
You gotta
Right.
go. You
And I say that too. Where I am today, I'm very secure. So
right.
if it's to the point where you're actually making me feel something is off, then I probably just don't even need to entertain you, because I'm not like that. So if you make me feel like that, it's too much is going on,
Yeah, doing too
because
much.
I am very
They
secure.
doing too much.
They're
Yeah,
doing
they
too
doing too
much.
much.
They're
And
doing too much.
like at some point, you just have to also understand where that person is when it comes to
Yeah.
relationships. I take marriage seriously, so I knew like to get married meant like shut it down, and
Mhm.
I wasn't ready to shut it down. Like I
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, so now, and I feel so good too. Like now you mature, you understand. And as a Christian, I understand what the covenant of marriage is now.
Mhm.
I understand the principles of marriage. Like I have a whole new revived understanding of relationships, period. You know,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
think, going to like retreats or the singles ministries and the whatever to learn about relationships is key if you want to be in a relationship.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
just my theory.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. And then another one more point in emotional intelligence in relationships. If I always say, there's a lot, women in particular, they'll be with someone,
mhm,
they'll know their character. The partner will do something in character, And then they'll be complaining and, oh, he did this, is that, and the third. Now I don't even know him, but based on what you told me, it sounds like he's in line with his character. You
Mm,
understand what I'm saying?
hmm.
So, oh, if you've been with the person for 3 years and they done lied a few times in 3 years, but now you telling me you upset because of something they lied about. Why? They're a liar. So if you chose to be with them, then if you've chosen to still be with the person, you cannot. This is an extreme example, but you cannot demand certain emotions or character traits of a person that has shown you that's not who they are.
I love
People
it.
are who they are. So when you're constantly trying to mold somebody to treat you different emotionally,
Hmm.
handle you different, you have to have the capacity to know, can this person realistically do that?
Wow,
It's a
that's
part of
good.
emotional intelligence. You
No,
have to read. Some people cannot give you what you want.
I love it. That's true. And I love that you said 3 years. I think that's a max. Like y'all 10 years, 8 years, still on and off, going together. What part of y'all not supposed to be together? Y'all,
It happens.
what emotional
Yeah,
intelligence
it
or
happens.
data
It
are you
happens.
using?
It happens.
We get in. Then you start playing. That's my husband. That's my wife. Then y'all start playing. We engaged. They engaged for 10, 12 years. How long? How long? How long? Like we not doing that. Somebody not interested.
You still somebody not really interested. Well,
Some
I've always said if you choose to indulge, if that person chooses to stay in that relationship, that's fine, but don't complain. If you understand
okay.
what it is to
Okay.
be in it, and don't complain because you're in it. Don't complain.
All right.
Because
Well,
if you're still there, you're choosing to deal with it. So if you're choosing to deal with it, don't complain. Or at least not to me. Don't complain.
oh, that's right. She's a lifestyle
We
strategist.
want
Don't,
fulfilling
don't,
lives.
right. Don't be like, but Whitney. No,
No. Yeah,
she
yeah.
gonna
So
she gonna let
if
you
you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna ride, ride.
ride, right,
That's it.
right. But don't cry. I like
Don't
it. You
cry.
gonna ride, but don't cry
Right,
about it. Just
right.
go on. What did he
Or
say? Take
leave.
that,
Yeah,
take that.
that's
No,
it.
just
All right, yeah, we don't went
that,
somewhere else
that
with
was
it.
bad. That was so bad.
We don't
That's
went
what
somewhere
happens.
else.
That's what happens. All right. Well, that's it. We want you to not overreact. We want you to communicate. We want you to take personal inventory of why you're reacting that way. We want you to understand your triggers. And as Whitney say, therapy, 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 therapy. Please do not be afraid of therapy. Therapy works. We promote that here. And again, we're in 2025. I don't want to hear what went on in this house, stay on in this house, that. I don't want to hear blacks not getting therapy. We are.
We are. We
Okay. We are
are.
healing. Okay. We're getting ourselves together while some other people are falling apart.
Hmm.
Um, and probably need to go back because.
Hmm.
But anyway, we are getting ourselves together, both black men and black women.
Yes.
So free yourself.
Free
Free
yourself.
yourself. Okay.
Free yourself. Love it. Love it.
Whitney, thank you so much for being here on Safe Space Talks My Mastery. We're here every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube channel at Safe Space Talks. Listen, if you ever need a coach, you need someone to talk to, email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com. I will gladly connect you. You can talk to me. And we just want to get well together. Let's be well.
I'm glad you provided this space. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank
Beautiful thing.
you. Thank you
God
so much.
bless you.